I'm really excited to show you the Exway Flex Pro because it has been such an impressive electric skateboard. I wouldn't say that it's anything innovative, which is quite unusual for Exway, but everything it does it really well. It's built with high quality components, which you can tell the moment you take it out of the box. Things like the metal cable connectors, the quality of the printed graphic underneath the deck, the extra long bolts on the trucks to allow for mounted lights and other accessories, and even just the gold pins on the trucks. All of these things work together to give the board a premium feel. It's almost subconscious, and it has some of the best performance specs compared to other electric skateboards in this price range. It has a top speed of 31 miles per hour, which is 50 kilometers an hour, a range of 25 miles and 40 kilometers, and its price comes in at $949 US. Looking at the numbers, the Exway Flex Pro looks great, but as always, we'll put it to the test to see how it really holds up. It's tough to pinpoint exactly who the Exway Flex Pro is for because the range of performance between the low-end modes to the top-end modes is really wide. The eSkate mobile app allows you to completely customize the settings, including power, so that you can set the board up to be either a beginner friendly with gradual acceleration, or you can set everything to 100% to give yourself a super powerful and fast electric skateboard. For this reason, I'd say that Exway Flex Pro caters to all types of street riders. The only type of riding it probably can't do that well is real off-road riding. Sure, you could put a set of cloud wheels on it, in which it will definitely allow you to take on gravel trails and short grass, but it's not ideal for that hard off-road riding. I'd get the Atlas Pro if that's the kind of e-skating that you want to do. I'll quickly run through the components of the e-board so we know what we're dealing with, then we'll get straight into the performance tests in just a sec. Exway have taken design elements from the snowboarding world to create a deck that has a natural dampening effect. The 38-inch maple, bamboo, and fiberglass composite deck lives up to its name by providing a nice flex to help with stability and shock absorption. It has raised edges where your toes and heels sit, which give you some added leverage when turning. I find that I don't really need to lean too much to be able to turn, and I can do a complete U-turn within a two-way street. And because it made turning easier, I didn't have to use as much energy throughout the ride, so I didn't fatigue nearly as much as I do on other e-boards. Plus, the shock-absorbing grip tape along the top of the deck adds another layer of comfort to the deck. To be honest, looking back on it now as I say this, it's one of the most comfortable decks I've had the pleasure of riding lately. That's the beautiful thing about great design. You don't tend to notice it when things go well. You are more likely to notice bad design. Another great feature on the Exway Flex Pro are the built-in bash guards on the nose and tail of the deck. They help to maintain the structural integrity of the deck in case the board goes flying into a wall or a gutter, and it protects the deck from dents and scratches, not just from hitting obstacles, but also when you just lean it up against the wall. Now, I want to make an extra special mention about the ESC enclosure because it's something that could easily be overlooked, but demonstrates the kind of attention to detail Exway make towards design. The enclosure has this unique cutout design which creates extra room for the motors to move into and prevents any rubbing when turning or carving hard. I love this. The Flex Pro has the good old Exway twist trucks, and like always, they're amazing. The 8-inch reverse kingpin trucks are so precise that you can take corners a little harder than you usually would and still feel in control and confident that the board isn't going to dip inwards sharply. They're really stable, and I didn't experience any speed wobbles when testing the top speed, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And the carving on the Flex Pro is so much fun. It feels a lot like surfing, but without all that extra hard work. It was smooth and responsive, and I always felt like I had control of the board. Warranted, I probably don't carve as hard as some of you e-skaters out there, but I had a blast carving around on this thing. It comes with 90mm 78A wheels with a 64mm contact area. Now, even though this is a fairly standard set of wheels looking at the numbers, a lot of the quality of the wheels comes from the certain chemical makeup of the polyurethane they use. In this case, these wheels feel great. I spoke about how nice it is to carve and turn on this board. Well, a lot of that also has to do with these wheels. They're very grippy, so they cling to the road and prevent the deck from slipping out from underneath you on those hard and fast turns. Not only that, the softness of the wheels adds some shock absorption to the ride to increase your overall comfort. Now, you're not stuck with these wheels. The great thing about belt drive motors is that you have more freedom to play around with different wheel types. On the Flex Pro, you're able to fit wheels of any size between 80mm and 120mm. So you could chuck some boas on there to increase your acceleration, or you could go with cloud wheels and get a higher top speed. The choice is yours. Exway even have a handy wheel guide that can help you with getting the right pulleys and belts for the different wheel types. I'll put a link to that in the description below. The Exway Flex Pro has the Riot V2 motors, which are dual belt drive motors and have a combined peak power output of 2,540 watts. And that can get you a top speed of 31 miles per hour, which is 50 kilometers an hour, and climb hills with a 40% hill grade. Starting with the hill climbing ability, it completely smashed it up the hill that I do my regular testing on. It's one of the steepest hills in my area, sitting at around 15%, and it had no worries getting up. Even at the steepest point, it was still accelerating. There's more than enough hill climbing power in this e-board. As far as the top speed, again, it was insane. I'm not the most confident rider at high speed, so I didn't push it to its limits. I hit a top speed of 24 miles per hour, which is 38.7 kilometers an hour, and there was plenty of room in the throttle. I mean, I really don't think the Flex Pro will have any issues hitting its marketed top speed. You get a 345 watt hour battery pack with 21,700 cells, and it's expected to get a range of 25 miles or 40 kilometers. Now, I didn't quite get that far. My final range number was 20 miles or 32 kilometers, which is about 80% of the spec range. Now, for me, this is pretty good. I often get somewhere between 60-70% of the spec range on most electric skateboards. I weigh 198 pounds or 90 kilos. I rode fairly hard and I did all of the other tests, including top speed, hill climb, and acceleration tests along the way. So lighter riders and riding more conservatively will get you a lot closer to the marketed range. The Exway Flex Pro is running with the R3 remote, which is a similar form factor to their previous remote. It uses a hard plastic case now. I much prefer the old soft rubber case, but that's just me nitpicking at a product that has so far done nothing but impress me. The remote has a small screen that displays important information like current speed, trip distance, overall odometer, speed mode, board battery level, and remote battery level. I will point out that the data for the trip distance and odometer are switched, so my overall riding distance is displayed next to the T and the trip distance is displayed next to the O. But the great thing is that the board also connects to the eSkate app, so Exway should be able to fix that in a future firmware update, but more on the app soon. The trip distance on the remote matches my Strava tracking app, so the remote is accurate, which is something I really shouldn't have to say, but there are many boards whose remotes are not calibrated correctly. Out of the box, the acceleration curves are perfect for the modes. I won't go too in depth with each of the modes because they're all completely customizable in the app, so you can dial them in to be exactly how you want them to be. But I will just say that out of the box, the acceleration and braking are great in their respective modes. It's nice and easy in mode 1, yet super powerful and fast in mode 4. In previous versions of the Flex, you could only make customizations via the app, but you can now change some of the settings via the remote's built-in menu. Things like free mode, turbo, cruise control, gear shift lock, the speed unit, wheel dimensions, pulley types, and brake levels are all modifiable via the remote. Everything else is done inside the app. So far, I've had mostly great things to say about the Exway Flex Pro. If it was just an electric skateboard, I'd already be impressed. It does a lot of things and it does it well. The SKATE companion app now adds even more delight to the entire experience. You can use the app to make all of the customizations that I mentioned earlier in the remote with a lovely, easy to use UI. And on top of that, you can fine tune the acceleration and braking power of each mode. Lastly, you can also track your rides right from within the app. I did have some troubles connecting to the app for the first time, but all I had to do was set add device automatically to on before it would recognize my board. But after that, it was smooth sailing. Overall, the Exway Flex Pro is an amazing electric skateboard. It has all the power and range I need, and it is incredibly fun and comfortable to ride. I love that Exway are constantly pushing the boundaries of e-skating and trying to make the entire experience better for e-skaters. They have done an exceptionally good job with this one. Links to buy it are in the description, along with a $15 off discount code that goes a long way to helping this channel if you use it. So a huge thank you to you if you do happen to use it. That's my Exway Flex Pro review. I hope I've helped you on your journey to find the best electric skateboard that's right for you. If I have, please like this video, share it with a friend, and hit the subscribe button if you're interested in seeing more electric skateboard reviews in the future. Thanks for watching. Ride safe out there, e-skaters, and I'll see you soon.